Here I'll talk briefly about the art of the alley-oop, knowing the timing, knowing the how-to and when to throw it. There are a couple of things that you want to avoid when trying to attempt an alley-oop. One thing is that you want to avoid a trap, especially if the alley-oop is coming off of a pick and roll. Also, you want to avoid rotation. Rotation coming from help side, weak side, and also you want to avoid a very good defender that's between you and the person that you're trying to get the alley-oop to, such as Tyson Chandler himself. If he was the one that was in between you on help defense, on hedging defense, he might be able to thwart that off and disturb your alley-oop attempt. People like Ron Artest, smart defenders, things like that. So you can throw alley-oops off of transition offense, wide open cuts, things like that. But I'll stick with the pick and roll principle of it. See if we can't get a couple of things down and a couple of things timed correctly for a couple of alley-oop attempts. All right, the L trigger plus A starts it, and you get various animations according to when and where you throw it. Okay, add a little defense. Now here's the timing of the alley-oop. When the picker is clear, you want to time to throw the alley-oop when he's on the run, when his hand is up in between the free throw line and the restricted line area. You want to concentrate on this. You don't want to have your eyes focused on it because you may get trapped in the process, or you may lose sight of an open man because the defense is rotated. But you want to check, you want to get yourself used to and practice this all the time, so you can get used to knowing the timing of alley-oops. But here we get the pick. He is clear now because Mehmet Okur is occupied. He is occupied trying to hedge me, and now Tyson Chandler is in the clear for an alley-oop attempt. Okay, he's between the free throw line now and the restricted area, and that's where I throw the oop. Okay, and he goes flying from there. Now, things you have to watch out for when you're running this alley-oop is that if Okur would have dropped back, you may want to check yourself before the alley-oop attempt is thrown, because he can jump up and deflect it himself. Also, what you want to watch out for is weak side rotation. If Ronnie Brewer rotated here into the paint, you don't want to throw this thing, because more than likely that rotator will bat it down or impede this guy's progress by grabbing his jersey or something like that, and the ball will just go out of bounds and you'll have a turnover. So if you see a guy sneak over, then you want to throw that skip pass to the person that he left, or you might not want to throw the alley-oop attempt at all. Just maybe throw a nice pass to the guy that's one pass away, and then in turn he can give the ball to the post player. Here on the alley-oop attempt, it's the same thing. The pick comes, but there's the hand. Now when that hand's up, he's ready to go. Okur's occupied with me. There's no rotation. That hand's ready to go between the free throw line and the restricted area. I throw it, and he's up. Deron Williams is nowhere tall enough to get that, and we throw it down, baby. Give me those ducats. Here we have Okur stuck with his hand in the cookie jar. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know who to defend. He turns his back slightly. He's not in a good defensive position to jump. Therefore, he just tries to put a hand up. And at that point, it's too late. Ball's already in there. And we thank you. This is what happens when you mistime the alley-oop, when you throw into too much of traffic, or you don't throw it at the proper time. The ball will just either sail off his hands, or it'll just go out of bounds. Once the pick and roll is initiated, I actually throw it right now. I'm hitting the button before he's inside the free throw line area. I actually hit it right around there, and I mistimed it. Also, Deron Williams is in the way. He impedes his progress a little bit, and then the ball just goes right off his hands. Now, also, mind you, if this happens and you are trying to throw an alley-oop to somebody like Robin Lopez, or someone like, just throw a shot in the dark, Joe Smith, plays for the Cavaliers, and he doesn't grab an alley-oop, whether he's wide open or, he's got a clear lane, you don't want to get too frustrated and, think that, well, my alley-oop attempts aren't working. You want to check their hands rating. You want to check their athletic ability. You want to check their dunk rating. It's hard for Carlos Boozer here. And this is a good example. Carlos Boozer is a good player in the NBA. But on this game, it's hard for him to catch alley-oop attempts, or at least to throw them down, because his dunk rating isn't high. It's somewhere in the high 60s, low 70s. That's not a very high dunk rating. And his vertical rating isn't high either. So you want to check, ratings like athleticism, vertical rating, dunk rating, hands rating, things like that. So if they're continually missing alley-oops, especially when they're wide open, those attributes, which attributes do matter, those attributes are reasons why that they don't catch those alley-oops. If you were to work on someone like Carlos Boozer and get his dunk rating up, and his dunk rating goes up into like the mid 80s to low 90s, high 80s, things like that, you'll notice that he'll start catching and throwing down alley-oops and giving you easy 2 buckets. But at first, he doesn't have those high ratings, and this stuff will happen on a regular basis. Here's another good defensive example of what happens if you mistime an alley-oop and a way to defend it. Look at Deron Williams. He sticks with the pick and roller, or the person who's getting the alley-oop attempt, and he stays right with him. And as soon as that ball goes in the air, this would be an L trigger. You would hold the L trigger and push the thumbstick towards the player's chest, and he'll impede his progress, and then he'll stop the alley-oop attempt from happening, and the point guard will get the turnover. So that is a very good way to defend this alley-oop attempt. It doesn't matter!